Hello everybody and welcome back to Pirate Ninja Productions. My name is Protius and this is episode 4 of Modern Minecraft Classroom. This week we decided to do something a little bit different. Selestiele will be covering mystical agriculture in her episode, so if you want to know more about that side of things, check it out. Link in the description. And then I am going to be covering what you see behind me with Create and actually building this on camera. And so yeah, we'll be back in just a bit. Alright, so the next mod here is Create. And we're starting a very basic, simple-ish introduction because it's a little bit overcomplicated. Not overcomplicated. Okay. It's a very in-depth and complex mod.
Okay. What's it for?
So Create is basically a mechanical motion type mod. Its main purpose is to allow automation through movement, and it just looks really cool.
Okay.
If you like moving parts that are actually doing something, Create is fun just to build things that look cool, even if they don't do anything, but they also do things, unless you don't want them to.
They also have a lot of building stuff.
Oh yes, they want it to look pretty. What?
I can do stuff with Azurine.
Yep.
And
Viridian?
Scorchia. Okay, sorry. I'm here.
The first two things that most people make in Create is a wrench, which basically is the tool for the mod. It allows you to interact with a lot of the things on a higher level. I also forgot the goggles, which should be here as well. I think they're in this version. Yes, engineer's goggles. So if you look those up, you'll see them. They basically will show you how parts of the mod work with it's based off of kinetic energy and stress units, the mod is. So basically every generation block that generates stress units has a capacity of how many stress units it can use, and you have to connect it to other things to use those stress units. But if you overstress the system, it doesn't work anymore. Kind of like if you try to draw too much power from electrical circuits in real life, the circuit breaker pops or the fuse explodes.
Okay.
Yeah. Or like, better example, if you try to spin gears too fast, they break, they grind against each other.
Right.
Yeah, that's more apt for this because there's a lot of gears.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the wrench, the goggles, and the toolbox. You can store tools in the toolbox and use it as like a place to hide stuff. So like I can put raw materials in my, or not raw materials, I can put building stuff, like all the stuff that we're going to get to, in the toolbox, put it down on the ground, hit a hotkey, and I'll be able to access the toolbox from a certain radius around me and swap out like a slot on my hotbar.
So, like an advanced shulker box.
Very advanced. Yes. Very cool too. Limited inventory. I think it only has like 5 or 6 slots though.
Okay.
This is a shaft. So you create things that spin, and the shaft transfers that spinning energy from one thing to another. That's pretty much it. They're also used in a lot of crafting recipes. We have the andesite casing, which is the basis for many of the lower tier machines and utilities in the mod. Mostly just a crafting and decoration. I mean, it looks kind of cool.
Andesite alloy, which we get by mixing iron and andesite, or zinc and andesite. recipes real quick
Mm-hmm.
so I can show people's. Okay, shaft is easy. Okay.
Okay. And then we have a basin, which is used to mix things. The basin and this mixer next to it go together. So you put stuff in the basin and with a mechanical mixer above it, and the mixer mixes whatever's in the basin. Objects or fluids. Usually both. There's advanced things to do with it, but we'll get into those later once we actually build some of this stuff.
Go mixer, that looks complex.
It's actually not that bad once you do it. Using it might be a little complex, but I'll walk you through it.
A whisk.
A whisk,
It
yes.
requires a whisk, which is
A lot of iron.
iron plate. Okay, so they use immersive engineering's hammer, which we covered,
Mm-hmm.
to make the iron plates.
Or we can make them in the Tinker's smeltery, which is what I've been doing. Or we can.
Oh, there's a casting table. Look at that.
Yep. Or we can use another immersive engineering machine that we haven't gotten to. Or we can use the next thing on this next pedestal, which is the mechanical press. And if you put a metal below this mechanical press, it will, and of course feed it energy, it will smash your ingot into plates.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the create way to do it. I forgot the depot. Where's the depot?
So you can put blocks in it. I mean, raw ores, and it smashes it into a block. So I guess you don't have to. Oh, look, emerald essence into an emerald.
Oh, that's in the automated packing.
Is that not them? Oh.
Yeah, so there's 3 different types. Compacting.
Pressing. That's right. Okay.
Yeah,
Pressing.
pressing is what I was referring
I was in
to.
the wrong little tab.
It creates all the plates for you.
Dirt path, steel plate, more plates, plates.
Paper.
Paper.
Random.
Plate, dirt. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty useful. Next we've got the Millstone, which is basically just a crusher. You can use it to basically make a bunch of stuff, like grind stuff into other stuff. So, flours into dyes. You can turn wheat into flour. What else is it useful for? It's mostly flours into
green
dyes.
dye from all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Paper, or not paper, sugarcane into sugar. You can turn clay blocks into clay balls, but I wouldn't recommend it. You can turn saddles into leather.
Sandstone into sand.
Cobble into gravel. Andesite into cobblestone. That's cool.
Calcite into bone meal.
Yeah, I saw that. It's mostly plants.
I like the sandstone into sand. That's useful. That would take up a lot less space in your inventory to move it, and then you could come back and still have sand.
Except, did you notice it was only 1 for 1?
Oh yeah.
So you lose 3 sand if you craft your sand into sandstone and then crush it again.
Well, it was useful.
For 5 seconds.
Okay. Great.
So this next section is going to be for the first kinetic generation that we are going to use.
Okay.
So this is a windmill bearing. So it's a windmill, and this can be placed either upright like you see it there, or 90-degree angle, so it's like on the side of a building. So you can have upright windmills or like standard, you know, the stereotypical farm windmills.
Right. Sorry, I'm rabbit holing down the crafting.
A lot of the stuff isn't super complicated to make once you have a basis in create materials.
It's really not. In fact, I'm going to skip the crafting recipes for the moment.
Okay. This is a radial chassis. What you do is you stick this on top of a windmill bearing. If you look at the top, it's green. That means that it's sticky.
Like a sticky piston.
So
yeah, I thought it was a sticky piston from farther away.
So the radial chassis, if you put that on top of a windmill bearing, anything that you attach to the chassis will automatically be attached to the multi-block, because windmills are multi-block structures, so you don't need additional things to attach it to, but only things that are directly attached to the chassis and a certain number of blocks away, which is configurable using the wrench way over there.
Okay.
And then the first thing that we're going to use is a white sail. You can make windmills with white sails. You can also dye the sails, but white is the color they're made in.
Okay. Pretty.
Yeah. So before we go on to the next things, I'm going to show off a makeshift windmill I've made. So you see I have the white sails on here. I actually realized after I put them on that I put them on in the wrong direction, but shh. I think. So
one only has one.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Okay.
So if you look at the bearing at the bottom and it says update bearing. See how it says right click with an empty hand?
Attach the structure you just built in front of it.
Yep.
Okay.
So try it.
This contraption was unable to assemble. Attached structure does not include enough sail-like blocks. 7. A minimum of 8 are required.
That's why I left one off.
Right.
So now if I put the 8th on, do it again.
Oh, it's moving.
Now it spins. It's very slow because it's very small. The bigger you make it, the more sails that you attach, the faster it'll spin and the more stress units it'll generate. It's very cool.
So this is generating power.
This is generating power. Passively.
Okay.
Not like in immersive engineering where it generates FE or energy, that kind of energy. This is its own energy. Create has its own version.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's very cool. So, and then you right click it again to reset it back to position, because you can't build with it while it's moving. You have to, like, if you want to add more sails or, you know, change the color of them, you can't do that while it's moving.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Alright, so the next few blocks are for utility. This is a mechanical drill. It drills. So it's meant to go through things like stone and ores and other hardened blocks like that. If you attach it to a moving device, because you can attach things to moving devices, like a windmill for instance, it will break the blocks.
Okay.
Automatically. Yeah, it gets more complicated than that, but that's a basic explanation of what it does. I don't use them very often because they're cumbersome and annoying, and there are easier ways to break a lot of blocks quickly, so I don't use them. But they're good to know about. Yeah. So this one is a mechanical saw. If we did not have bonsai pots, this is what we would use for tree farming. Because if you put
Cuts down
these,
trees.
yeah, if you put these on a automated farm and it comes into contact with a tree trunk, the bottom tree trunk, it'll cut the whole tree down at once. And the
Okay.
leaves.
That's useful.
Oh yes. Yeah. Also, if you place it on the ground and run certain blocks over it, it'll act kind of like a stone cutter does, but for wood. That's annoying to set up, but we'll go over it at some point. This is a deployer. It deploys blocks.
Boys blocks.
It does what it says on the tin. It can, yeah, so it can either be given an item and it will place that item down, or the mode that it's currently in is basically activate mode, so it'll poke things, so it can activate like redstone or push buttons.
Looks like it's pointing.
Yeah. If you put an item in that, it turns to an open palm with the item in the palm. And it'll place that, or it'll use that block on whatever it's attached to. Very useful for create level automation stuff. It's a fun block.
Okay. Just poke, 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 poke.
Yep.
I can't carry it around. Poke.
Excuse you.
That's the closest I can get.
You don't want me to hit you with this fist.
No, I don't.
Alright. This next thing is the portable storage interface. So if we have a moving contraption that breaks blocks, if you put a chest on it, it collects those items into the chest. However, you can't access the chest while the thing is activated, but you don't want to be turning it off constantly. So what you do is you attach one of these to the inside and the on the outside of the contraption, and when they come next to each other, they will extend, funnel items off the contraption into the other inventory, and then you'll be able to access them. Super useful.
I have a feeling that one I'm gonna have to see in action to understand.
Yeah, it's I honestly had to see it in action. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard words, and that did not compute.
Yeah. Well, all of these do have the like the hold W to ponder in JEI, but it seems to be buggy and keeps crashing my game when I do that, so I don't recommend it.
Yeah, okay. I will.
And then this is the last one. This is how we're going to automate mystical agriculture. This is a mechanical harvester. What it does is when it passes over a fully grown plant block in a moving contraption, it will automatically harvest that block. And you know how we have right click to harvest? It'll do the same thing.
And so it automatically plants.
Yep.
Or replants. Okay.
So what I like to do
Very cool.
is take a windmill, attach a bunch of these on an arm around at the bottom of the windmill, and basically spin them in a circle with the plants in that circle. Stick one of these on there, and automated farming at no cost.
Okay, some things you said earlier this week are now making sense.
Yes. This is what I want to set up at our new base for farming of crops.
Okay. I can do that.
Yeah. So I'll probably set up 1 or 2 as a demonstration so that you see it in action before trying to do it on your own. Because it's...
Okay.
It sounds...
That's probably a good idea.
Somewhat simple, but in practice it's simple but not that simple. Because that totally makes sense.
I'm looking forward to that.
So I'll probably do the inferium field first because that's what we need the most of. So I'll build a giant inferium field with this stuff. And this is relatively cheap stuff. I think we have most of this in decent enough quantities. And if not, that's what mining is for. Or growing it. I should make spider seeds so we can get string. Nah, mob farm.
I was gonna say, we have a mob farm.
Yeah. So that's it for Create for today. We will have several more
Okay.
lessons on how Create works. Because this is like less than a quarter of what the mod is capable of.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I looked into Create for the building blocks aspect, because they have some really, really pretty
Yes.
blocks.
Most of them don't
So-
really contribute to the mechanics of the mod. They're just there to look pretty.
Well, that is okay with me. I will use them to look pretty. I will totally use them for their looks.
Alright, here we are over at the new base. This is our Inferium farming setup. You may notice that it is missing some Inferium. That is on purpose. It'll be taken care of later. This is the center. So we're going to set up auto farming using the Create mod. So I'm going to start here with a nice little windmill bearing. If I right click, yeah, it still doesn't assemble as expected. So I put down a little radial chassis on there. Actually, I need to put 2. Where's the other one? There. The reason for 2 will become obvious in a minute, I hope. Oops. No. Listen, these are not supposed to look good. These are just supposed to be functional. Yeah, functional. Alright, so that sets up the windmill. So it should go a spinny spin. Excellent. And then if we take the linear chassis and the super glue and go splush. I don't need that anymore. Well, I shouldn't. Let me double check. Yes. If I do this. Yes, okay. No. Yeah, I had to do even more of them. That's fine. Okay. Now, if I take... So what I've done here is this is the linear chassis. So anything attached to a linear chassis will spin when, or will move when the contraption moves. In this case, it's attached to a radial chassis, so it'll spin with the windmill. And should, I hope, collect these resources. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on and see what happens. It would help if I did not have my yeah. Oh, I forgot. Alright. I get it. Magnet bad. Yeesh. Okay. Rotate direction, clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise. Okay. Yeah. It's because I forgot this. There we go. So now, well, that should go in there. Take this out again. Put that on there. Just like that. That was a bit of a frame rate. Oops. Okay. Oh, it's not going to be able to get the center. Right, I knew that. Well, I'll leave the plants there. I'll, yeah. I keep forgetting about the sticky stuff. There we go. Everything needs super glue. Okay, good. So now, if I take... Yeah, this is not going to look good, but that's okay. Take that and put that there, and then put this chest. Will this work with the chest on the back of it? I'm not entirely sure it will, but I'm going to give it a shot. No. I have a feeling it wouldn't, which is why I didn't. Okay, what if I put the chest down here? There we go. Now, the real question is, will it go into that? Let's find out. Yes, it will. Okay, cool, cool. Automated. Now all I need to do is pick up some of these seeds. That should be enough. Pick up, or take out my mattock again. There we go. Nice. And that's pretty much it. For a more detailed explanation, so we have the windmill bearing, which spins when given windmill force, which is what these do. They swing in the non-existent Minecraft wind. Don't question it, just accept it. You can't see it because it's considered a tile entity right now, but these two are radial chassis. They spin. These are linear chassis. They carry width. These are harvesters, which just like their name implies, they harvest any crop that they pass over that is fully grown. This circle in the middle will not work, unfortunately, or at least certain ones, because of the way that the harvesters go, but that's fine. And because this contraption has a chest on it, it will put everything into the chest. Then the portable storage interface will take everything out of the chest. When it gets here, drops it into the chute, which drops it into the drawer. We'll move all this later to make it look prettier, but I'm not very good at that, so I'm not going to be the one doing it. Did emeralds get filled out? They did not. I'm going to fill out emeralds while I'm here. Or at least work on it. Yes, okay. Magnet is still on, just in case. So yeah, that's it for this. I'll be back. Alrighty, that is going to be it for today. I did not build this. Celestiele built this. This is going to be our storeroom for all the mystical agriculture stuff as well as the workshop. But this is where I thought would be a good time to, or a good place to say goodbye. So yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed. Please look up Celestiele's episode for the same thing, as well as check out the rest of her channel. And have a wonderful day, and I will see you later.